Hi, we're going to be reading the Korean Cinderella. Long ago in Korea, when magical creatures were as common as cabbages, there lived an old gentleman and his wife. 4 years they longed for a child to share their childhood cottage. At last, a daughter was born. Good fortune, the old man exclaimed. I'll plant a pear tree in the courtyard to celebrate this day. And Pear Blossom will be our daughter's name, the old woman.
Both the tree and the child grew lovelier with each passing season. In spring, white flowers frosted the tree, and Pear Blossom wore a white ribbon on her long black braid. In summer, when the tree bent with ripening fruit, Pear Blossom's mother wove a band of rosy gold into her hair. In the autumn, when the leaves from the tree blew about the courtyard like scraps of sunshine, her mother dressed Pear Blossom in a yellow gown. But one winter day, when the branches on the pear tree were still bare sticks, the old woman died. "Aigo," wailed the old man. "Who will tend Pear Blossom now?"
He put on his tall horsehair hat and went to the village matchmaker. She knew of a widow with a daughter. The girl named Peony was just the age of Pear Blossom. 3 in 1, promised the matchmaker, a wife for you and a mother for and a sister for Pear Blossom. So the old gentleman took the widow for his wife, although Pear Blossom called the woman Omoni, or mother. She was far from motherly, and Peony was worse than no sister at all.
Omoni found a fall as soon as they stepped into the kitchen. "Too cold," she grumbled. "The fire's gone out. Fetch wood, Pear Blossom, be quick." Pear Blossom gathered sticks and fed the stove until the lid on the kettle danced from steam. "Too hot," her stepmother scolded. "Then the noodles are scorching. Get water, Pear Blossom, be quick." Both Omoni and Pear Blossom were jealous of Pear Blossom's and the hard work she has happy they were each day. Pear Blossom was up before high the day the sun. She cooked and cleaned until midnight with only the cricket for company.
Was worse than the one before, for her father grew too fretful to pay attention to Pear Blossom's troubles. Omoni dressed Pear Blossom in rags and tied her tiny braid with a twist of rope, and now she and Peony addressed her only as Little Pig or Pigling. "Pigling has a pigtail," she cheered Peony, but nothing could hide Pear Blossom's beauty. At night, Omoni lay sleepless, searching for an excuse to get rid of her stepdaughter. One morning, she told Pear Blossom the water jar by the door needs filling.
"It leaks." Omoni, Pear Blossom replied, for it has a hole the size of an onion. Some born little pigs get tried up and taken to the market. Warn her stepmother, filling it with that jar. Then Omoni and Peony marched through the courtyard gate, locking it behind them. Pear Blossom led against the tall jar. "Will none in this world help me?" she asked. Jug, rumbled a fearsome voice.
"A Tokabi," Pear Blossom gasped. "A goblin. What if a Tokabi goblin were hiding in the jar?" Fearfully, she stood on tiptoe and peered inside. A gigantic frog with bulging eyes stared back. "Jugful," it croaked again, and squeezed itself like a stopper into the hole in the jar.
As you wish, agreed Pear Blossom, for frog or goblin, it was best to do its bidding. She hurried to the well and drew a jug full of water. When she poured it into the jar, not a drop leaked out. When Omoni and Peony returned, they found Pear Blossom resting beside the jar. "So," Omoni shrilled, "off to the market, little pig." "But Omoni, the jar is full," Pear Blossom protested. "A frog helped me." "Trickery," snapped her mother, but she muttered to Peony, "A magic frog. Look inside that jar." Peony hung over the rim and saw only her own scowling face. All of a sudden, the jar tipped. A flood of water soaked Peony from head to toes. "Piglings to blame," she howled. Someday little pig will get what she deserves." Omoni declared. She made Pear Blossom crawl through the puddles, looking up the water.
The next morning, Omoni scattered a huge sack of rice around the courtyard. "Hold this rice, little pigling," she ordered. "Polish every grain or else she'll shook the empty bag. You'll be put in this sack and sent to China." Then Omoni and Peony left for the village. Rice covered the ground like sand beside the sea. Pear Blossom threw her arms around the pear tree and asked, "Will none in this world help me?" Wings whirled overhead and a flock of sparrows flew out of the tree. "Cheer, cheer, cheer," the sparrows called out to Pear Blossom. They pecked the rice, separating house from kennel. Now, in a matter of minutes, the sparrows had polished the rice and piled it in a corner.
When Omoni came back, she found Pear Blossom nodding beneath the tree. "Off to China," her stepmother began, and then caught sight of the mound of rice. "How can this be?" she demanded. Pear Blossom rubbed her eyes. Sparrows flew out of the tree and polished the rice. "Birds don't hull rice," scoffed Omoni. "They eat it." But to Peony she whispered, "It's magic that's flying out about. Catch some." She pushed Peony beneath the pear tree. At once the cloud of sparrows swooped down. "Cheat, cheat, cheat!" They chattered at Peony. They pecked at her, tearing her jacket. They perched on her head, pulling her hair. "Piglings to blame," Peony bawled. "Someday little pig will get what she deserves," Omoni threatened. She did not give Pear Blossom anything to eat. Not that day or the next. Not so much as a kernel of rice.
Pear Blossom had food to fix. Nevertheless, the village was having a festival, and she had to pack picnic hampers for dried fish and picked cabbage for her stepmother. She also sewed a dress of pink silk for her stepsister. When the festival came, Peony mocked Pear Blossom, calling her a dirty piglet. "Stay at home."
"Pigling may go," said Omoni in a voice as sweet as barley sugar. After she weeds the rice paddies, she handed Pear Blossom a basket of wilted turnip tops. "Here is Pigling's picnic." "I am most grateful, honorable mother," said Pear Blossom. When she reached the fields, Pear Blossom dropped the basket in dismay. Rice rippled before her like a great green lake. Weeding it would take weeks. Who could do such a task? She asked. Suddenly, a weird wind twisted through the fields, and a huge black ox reared up from a cloud of dust. "Do," it bellowed, tossing its gray horns. The ox began to munch the weeds, moving through the rows of rice faster than the wind itself. Each mouthful brought it closer to Pear Blossom. Even though she hid her face in her hands, she heard the crunch of its teeth and felt the beast's warm breath on her neck.
At last she dared to peek between her fingers. Both ox and the weeds were gone. Hoofprints big as cartwheels pocked the field, yet not a single blade of rice was trampled. And when Pear Blossom looked in her basket, she found fruit and honey candy instead of turnips. She bowed and clapped her hands and called 1,000 thanks. Pear Blossom hastened to the village festival. The road was felled and crofted stream was rough with pebbles. Pear Blossom had just slipped off one straw sandal to shake out a stone when she heard a shout.
Make way for the magistrate. 4 bearers and a palanquin swaying on poles across their shoulders jogged toward her. In the chair sat a young nobleman dressed in rich robes and wearing a jade jewel in his top knot. Flustered Pear Blossom teetered on one leg like a crane, holding her straw sandal. Her cheeks grew hot as red peppers, and she hopped behind a willow tree that grew beside the stream. As she did, her sandal splashed into the water and bobbed like a small boat just out of reach.
Stop, commanded the magistrate from his palanquin. He was calling to his bearers, but Pear Blossom thought he was shouting at her, and frightened, she fled down the road. The magistrate gazed after Pear Blossom, struck by her beauty. Then he ordered his men to fish out her sandal from the stream and to carry him back to the village.
At the festival, Pear Blossom forgot about her missing shoe. She watched the acrobat and tightrope rockers until she was dizzy. She listened to the fiddle and drums until her ears rang. She nibbled on trees until her basket was almost empty.
She was peeling the last orange when Amoni and Peony came upon her little pig. Screamed her stepmother, "What are you doing here?" "I am here because a great black ox ate all the weeds in the rice paddies," said Pear Blossom, "the same ox that gave me this orange." "Black ox indeed," Amoni snored. "Oxen."
She was peeling the last orange when Amoni and Peony came upon her. "Little pig," she screamed to her stepmother, "what are you doing here?" "I am here because the great black ox ate all the weeds in the rice paddies," said Pear Blossom. "The same ox that gave me this orange." "Black ox indeed," Amoni scorched. "Ox are brown. You stole that fruit." She was interrupted by the magistrate's bear. "Hear this," they shouted as they evaded the palanquin through the crowd. We seek the girl with one shoe." "It's Pigling," Peony pointed at her sister. "She lost her shoe." The barriers put the chair down beside Pear Blossom, and the nobleman held up the straw sandal. "The magistrate has come to arrest you for stealing." Amoni shook Pear Blossom. "Now you'll get what you deserve." "Then she must deserve me as her husband," said the magistrate, "for this lucky shoe has led me to her." "Another of Pigley's magic tricks," hissed Amoni, pulling Peony to the palanquin. "My daughter will give you 2 shoes. That is twice as lucky." The magistrate looked at Amoni as if she had lost her wits. Then she turned to Pear Blossom
And said, "I've luck enough if she who wears this one becomes my bride." Pear Blossom smiled, too shy to speak, and slipped the sandal on her foot. Amoni stood staring, stiff as a clay statue, but Peony ran straight to the rice fields to find the magic ox. All she saw was a glimpse of its hooves as it galloped away.
When springtime came, the magistrate sent a go-between to Pear Blossom's old father to arrange a grand marriage. Pear Blossom's wedding slippers were of silk, and in the courtyard of her splendid new house, a dozen pear trees bloomed. "Ewa, ewa," chirped the sparrows in the branches. "Ewa," croaked the giant frog down below. "That is as it was long ago and as it should be, for in Korea, Iwa means pear blossom.